Welcome to Noah's Ark, where in every episode I have the great opportunity to speak to some of my closest friends and favorite people in Manhattan and figure out what are their stories, why are they living here, how do they stay creative, and what makes them stay in Manhattan and love it so much. I'm learning a lot for sure, and I hope you get to learn a little bit from watching with me. Thanks so much. Hi guys, welcome back for another episode of Noah's Ark. So this week is kind of really special because I am joined by my dear friend, Marianne Garvey.
Hi.
And you may know her because she runs the confidential column for the New York Daily News, or you may know her because we're on VH1's The Gossip Table together 5 days a week for a year and a half and
Almost 2 years.
almost 2 years, and we kind of spend all of our time together.
And we're not shouting like we do on the Gossip Table, so I'm a bit confused.
Our energy levels turn down a little bit.
In the morning, it's like...
Every week on Noah's Ark, I have something that I, probably talk to my therapist about, trying to analyze my own life.
My therapist, too.
We share the same strength. This week, what I was really curious about is, in New York, we're all defined by our careers. We're all stuck in this career box of like, hi, my name's Noah Levy and I'm a lawyer. And I was realizing, I just turned a certain age, and it's probably likely that I'll never be a basketball player or I'll never be a banker. But there are some amazing people that I have met, like Marianne Garvey, who are able to take a risk and step out of their career box and try something new.
Trying all the time.
Now, the comedy thing, people are starting to recognize you as someone who's really funny organically.
Yeah. Well, that's where the show helped
Yes.
so much, because I'm not so much, I can't deliver news. I'm not really good in that way.
Right.
But it worked that I sort of became like the comic relief, I guess, on the show in a way, with like a one-liner or
She's
something.
She's hilarious.
I've been doing stand-up more and more, and then you meet more and more people. But it's kind of hard to pursue one thing solely when I have like 2 other full-time jobs. So I just try to balance it all.
And also it's kind of scary because a lot of people feel like, for example, I'm 32, and I feel like there are certain age restrictions where if I was to try a new career, I feel like I feel a little embarrassed, like going to compete with 21-year-olds.
No, that's where you need like a good mentor.
Right.
And the strength inside to be like, well, age is nothing. That's what Joy Behar did for me, right? We were out one night,
Yes.
and I became friends with Joy, and she's helped with my comedy stuff, but she started at 40, and she was like, no, you only have now. There's no like, I wish I did this. She's like, start now.
And I feel like women in comedy, they really do stick together.
Sure.
And they kind of have to, unless they don't, and then, sorry, like, we don't really like you.
Yeah.
But I feel like it is about sisterhood because it's such a male-driven business.
And guys saying women aren't funny or not as funny as men, even if they do respect you.
Right.
It's kind of hard, but there are a lot of supportive men too. But I haven't found it that catty.
So Joy Behar is someone who has been able to give you great advice about
amazing.
Changing your career route and following your path and stepping outside of that box. Let's cut to Marianne Garvey in 30 years.
Oh God, I don't know.
And well, first of all, you'll have
a lot of Botox.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 facelifts.
2 facelifts, hair thickening, something they'll invent by then to keep this luscious weave going.
Gorgeous. But a younger Garvey comes to you. Let's say she wants to change, she's a lawyer or a doctor, and she wants to try comedy. What would your advice be to her about stepping outside of that box and not getting defined by your 9-to-5 job?
You just have to make sort of 2 worlds, because you don't want to be defined by your 9-to-5 job, but you don't want to leave it either. You have health insurance, you're paying the bills,
right.
You have to be present when you're there. So you have to have enough energy to also go out at night and make a sort of separate world that you want to get into. If I was younger now, I would have blown everything off, waitressed, and done stand-up every single night and never called the Post. But like, you can't say, I wish I'd done this or I wish I'd done that. It was just my path.
Yeah. So what you're saying is it's never too late.
No, never.
You got to have balance. It sounds like you have to have a mentor. Mm-hmm. And you have to be able to work in a way, it's like a full-time job to find your path or to follow your path.
Because when you're super young and you're like in your 20s and you get rejected, you're like, oh, whatever. You're kind of not affected that much. You're like, I'm young, I have time to do it. when you're older, it's almost as good too, because you realize you're like, oh, just some people just don't like me. So whatever. You're almost even stronger.
That
so it's
is
kind of a cool
good. I like that.
age to be like 40 and pursuing something, I think.
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, don't you find that?
Yeah.
Enough people get you by now. You have fans and all that. And
Yeah, if
people that
someone
like
doesn't
you.
like me, I don't care. I mean, it's always different with dating, but whatever, that's another episode. Before we wrap up, I want you to tell me a joke.
Oh,
And
okay.
don't tell me to look in the mirror.
No. All right, this is going to be really cheesy, but I wrote a joke when I was 14. And it's my favorite joke, and I probably have told
like
you it
this
before.
one.
It's the first joke I ever wrote. I saw a mouse in my apartment.
What happened?
So in order to make sure he never came back, I fucked him. Does anyone get it? How did I get that as a kid? I don't know.
What I've learned
Terrible.
is basically you're a great TV host, comedian, writer, and also a brilliant exterminator.
Yes.
So, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
On New York Natives, and I'll be seeing you bright and early tomorrow at
Tomorrow
VH1.
morning.
And stay tuned till next time. I can't wait, and this was a lot of fun. What is style? And number 2, do the clothes make the woman?
I think style is really more about just how you live your life.